All right, back on Sports Pit. Time for 5 great minutes with Jimmy Vaccaro. If you're ever in Las Vegas, stop in and see him at the South Point. A bookmaker for over 40 years. And follow him on Twitter at Jimmy Vaccaro. Well, you told me earlier in the week on the radio that this Hurricane Matthew was going to be a giant pain in the ass with adjusting all these totals and take stuff off the parlay card. How bad was it?
Well, you hit it right on the head, my friends. A giant pain in the ass. And it's funny you brought this up now, as we've been talking about the past few weeks. Yesterday, me and Chris Andrews, the manager of the South Point Sportsbook, and Michael Gahn, the owner, actually stopped in too. And I was discussing with them, although we would have to wait till next cycle, I think that the old rules are antiquated, the house rules we have generally on the board, although you can put up what you want as long as you adhere to your own sportsbook house rules. But there's been so many things in the last few years, lightning delays, obviously games being changed from date, games being changed on the venue, and actually the hurricane season is more prominent. There's obviously taking more steps for the safety of the people that live in those cities. So I think we have to look at the way that we post these rules. And just thinking out of my head, I was thinking that maybe, if you bet the first game of the season, you have action no matter how many games they play. Almost like what the golf does, Paul. If you tee up, then you quit after the third hole. Well, you're a loser. If you bet against that guy, you're a winner if you bet that he wouldn't go further than that. I think somewhere in the middle between that and understanding that we have to protect both the consumer and the operator. So I believe this time next year, as far as the South Point is concerned, I think you have some rule changes. But yes, it's very hard to explain to a customer who thinks he has a winner and you tell him he has no action. And conversely, it's no upside for us too, because we're the ones in the middle, we're the ones booking. But we'll see what happens. But I can almost guarantee you there'll be some changes in the rules come next year.
Okay, very good there. How'd it go Saturday? This Washington freight train rolls on. They blow out Oregon.
Yeah, they beat us pretty good on that one. Oregon has obviously lost its luster in the last year and a half. And the two biggest games, good and bad for us, was almost like nondescript games. Maryland at Penn State. That game went to 3.5. Maryland the favorite. That was our best decision of the day, as Penn State handled them rather easily. And for the people who live in Las Vegas, the worst game for the bookmakers. Everybody bet against the Rebels, and that was a very bad game for us. All the other games were ham and cheese. Great action, great two-way, split them up. So I would have what you would consider a fair day on Saturday. Nothing to write home about, but nothing that you would change, because there's really no big jeopardy as far as some of these teams as the previous few weeks. But Maryland was the best game, and the Rebels were the worst game.
How about that Michigan game? You ever see anything like that? Rutgers had 2 first downs the whole game?
Well, Paul, the way we were just talking, Michigan scored again. I mean, I don't know what to do or how you stop. I think we're almost to the point, even in college, although here we go again, it would take some rule changes. We're going to have a mercy rule. I mean, it's just insane to have those kids out there. And yes, I understand, the third stringers play, and that's the only chance at times that they get to play. But it's dull. It doesn't really do anything. You can't tell a kid to go in the game and just kneel from the third quarter down. So I believe that somewhere down the line that the NCAA is going to change that also. But these mismatches are getting a little crazy. And Harbaugh, I think he lets us stick the knife in you no matter what the score is. But we'll go from there. But naturally, here's the game we opened. I don't know what we opened it, but obviously moved up 4 or 5 points. Not on the straight bet, but every parlay card ticket that you played off the board and every parlay ticket that you included in the stuff you're betting for the day had Michigan on it. And obviously the bookmakers in that game had 0 chance.
Jimmy Vaccaro, our guest, 5 great minutes every Tuesday to recap how the books and the players made out. Hey, the Cowboys and the Raiders won again?
Well, what can you say? I mean, obviously the conversation is going to be heated and heavy with this kid for the quarterback for the Cowboys. And obviously we're getting to the point where, does Romo say I'm ready to play or not? And I don't know if they can play him. It's really a quandrum. Now, there was a lot of money against the Cowboys yesterday. The Bengals, we opened Dallas 1, closed Cincinnati 2-0. One of our better games of the day, but it's going to be an interesting conundrum. Obviously, you'd like to have it. I had never seen a kid that runs the ball, Elliott, again, just the first year in the league, him and the quarterback. Yes, we know it's a long way to go before you get to that hallowed Hall of Fame, but these two kids stay healthy. it completely changes the outlook. And what it also does, too, Dallas always needs something for America's team to get back on top. In other words, every week that they keep winning, even though yesterday the smarts were all over the Bengals, we do a lot enough tickets on Dallas every week. They keep winning. They're gonna be obviously they're gonna be America's team again. And conversely, what you said just about the Raiders, same thing, especially here in Nevada. Even though the game closed on a bad number for us, I mean there was that Raider chant. When they were kneeling down for the win there. So two teams on the up and coming, two teams that, Dallas didn't have much to say at the beginning of the year with win totals and so forth, but the Raiders surely did, betting over, and actually a lot of people betting them to win division, conference, and the Super Bowl. See what happens.
Yeah, I know the Bills, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh weren't good for you. How about a couple silent assassins?
Silent assassin, even though it wasn't that silent, it was the thing that saved the day for us at the South Point, the Eagle game. I mean, it was just a monstrous attack on the Philadelphia Eagles. We opened the game, Philadelphia, 2.5-point road favorite against supposedly the hapless Lions, and it looked like for a while, if you had Detroit, you were in real good shape, and then you turn around, and then you were fighting for your life at the end there. That was actually the best game that we've had for the entire season. Now, to obviously take some of the luster off, it was two teams, again, just with parlay card action. That was simply the Steelers. And even though the Smarts had the Browns plus 11 and 10.5 and 10, that was our second biggest loser of the day with the Steelers. So the silent assassin, even though it wasn't too silent, was the Philadelphia Eagles. That simply saved the game. And naturally, anytime you get to an isolated game where everything is funneled into, meaning the 5:30 game with the Giants and the Packers, the game close 7 is absolutely a pain in the butt because you're either getting sidled, middled, or both, but you're still paying both sides of a parlay if they had it connected to the under there. Little savior because the game didn't go over, but when there's isolated games, and it's two, marquee teams, especially the Packers, a lot of play on it. We didn't do well to the game. We could have done a lot worse. We only went to 6.5 for a smidgen, so we went back to 7, but we ate it there pretty good. But like I said, and the people out there, they always say, geez, how can these bookmakers be so smart, ending the game right there on the number they started with? You'd like to tell them in a nice way, that's the worst thing we want. Nothing good happens when you write big money on a game and the number falls on the number that you have out there. The only thing can happen is like you might need to storm there to cut some of the loss. But that was a bad ending for us in the day.
Yep, and some places call them a pleaser, reverse teaser. Some guy had a nice score at your joint on a reverse teaser.
Yeah, listen, I give people credit. You put your money up and you take your shot. And obviously, reverse teaser is really, really hard to win. We call it a super teaser, where we're adding the points the other way. In other words, if a game is 6, you're going to lay 12. If a game is 7, you're going to get 1 for that game. Well, we had a customer, a 5-teamer, paid 250 to 1, and it's a super teaser. His last game, he had the Buffalo Bills minus the 4.5, and when he got there late, obviously we paid off dearly there. $200 ticket, and he collected $50,000. So I probably, when I go into work today, I'll probably still see him dancing around. But it's a new way of betting. People love it. Yes, make this clear, it's very hard to win. But when you do win and you make a score, to some degree, it's life-changing. But, we paid them off, and we'll see what happens from here.
All right, very good as always. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, sir. Hey, guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
So we're giving you picks every day, and you're probably making your own as well. Be sure to participate in SBR's weekly Twitter Bankroll Challenge. Just post your picks on Twitter with @SBRSportsPicks and the hashtag BetSBR before 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. We'll be betting your picks, and if the bankroll is positive at the end of the week, you could win the profits. Picks must be of events taking place that day and available in at least one of the major sportsbooks shown in our Best Sportsbooks page.